without a shadow of a doubt that you're created on purpose for a purpose. Mindset and money revolution. You have to have a mindset revolution to experience a money revolution. That's when you experience a true wealth revolution.
My name is Chad Free. Welcome to the Wealth Revolution Podcast.
Welcome back to the Wealth Revolution Podcast. This is Chad Free. Hope everybody is doing well out there. I've got a great guest today, one of my favorites, and her name is Reagan Cagle, and we're going to get into her story in a little bit, but talking about achieving true wealth, you know, that abundance of anything that you value and having the mindset revolution, a money revolution, and truly walking it out. She is a perfect example of what that looks like. And I'm so excited to have her here on the show. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you will be inspired just like I am. So Reagan Cagle, what is up, girl? How are you doing?
Hey, Chad. Thank you for having me here. I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. So tell us about you. Tell us about what you're doing right now currently, and then we're going to go back to how you got there, but what does that look like? What are you doing right now? Tell us what you're doing.
So I am in real estate. I am the real estate hustle queen. I am queen mama, queen wife, queen everything of the whole family, and I take pride in it. I love it. I love helping my clients. Been in the business for 20 years ago is when I was originally licensed in the real estate world. And I have had a passion for homes and helping people for many, many years. And so I really, truly take pride in that. And that's what I'm doing to this day. And setting a different expectation, different level of service out there for the folks who need that guidance and
Right.
being there for them. That's what I'm doing. And I'm loving every minute
I
of
mean,
it. A little bit stressful
buying a
days.
home. Yeah, buying a home's a big purchase, right? That's a big
It's a
investment.
very emotional purpose. It's a very emotional purchase. I mean,
Yeah.
we say there's about 80% of real estate is emotional. So
Yeah.
yeah, we definitely
Oh, yeah.
take care of our people for sure.
And you mentioned mom. Tell us how many kids you got.
Yeah, so I have 4 kids, and you'll learn the story behind this. And so you don't be shocked when I tell you their ages, but they're 25, 21, 16, and drum roll, the youngest will be 5 in 2 weeks.
How about that? And I know
So
your
full
husband.
house, full heart.
Yeah, and I know your husband. Good, great friend of mine. So yeah,
Wonderful man. And
we,
I will say he is the backbone of my success because I couldn't do it
oh
without him.
wow. Good deal. Excellent. So I guess that's who you are. Let's figure out, you know, we don't just wake up and then all of a sudden arrive, right? And I know that by no stretch of the imagination am I saying that you've arrived, or nor have I, but you know, things happen in our life to get us to a certain place, to where we are right now. And that could be success, that could be failure, like we talked about prior to the show. A
Right.
lot of times you got to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough, right?
Yeah, good
And
point.
so, you know, I know that it started way back in your childhood. So can you kind of go into that for me?
Yeah, so a lot of my success, or I should say motivation and drive to want to be better, do better, is going to go all the way back to those teenage years and being a teen mom. And I was, in fact, a teen mom at 17 years old. I found out that I was pregnant. And that was harsh in and of itself, but I also had a background in dance and performing arts. And so I not only went to a normal high school, but I also went to a performing arts school. And that just being pregnant added an extra layer of difficulty to the mix of, hey, well, what do we do now? And I was raised still, back then we were very traditional Southern Baptist family. And it was, hey, you go and have this abortion and we never talk about it again. And, I will say that growing up, you don't really know what you want to be when you grow up. You don't really know what you want to do. But the one thing that I always knew that I wanted to be was a mama. And I can remember looking at my mom in the face in the moment, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I didn't care what it took in that moment, but I couldn't go through with that abortion. Didn't know how I was going to get there. Didn't know what I was going to do. But that moment fueled me. And then that goes back to, well, if you're not having an abortion, then you darn better marry him. So, and unfortunately, I had only known the father of my child for a few months. But you did it, and eventually we married, and I was determined in that moment to make it work, even without knowing the father of my child. So at 17 years old, I stayed in school, but I moved out, and he and I both moved out, and we lived on our own in high school.
So stop right there. That's crazy. Now, it's not crazy. It's crazy. I was going to say it's not crazy, but that is crazy. It's crazy to fathom. Some people have done that. I've never been in those shoes, right? But think about, like, I couldn't imagine my son going through that right now. But I'm just going to add my little 2 cents here. All things work together for the good for those who are called according to his purpose. And so I just want to add that as we continue to talk, because I'm sure you'll get in your faith a little bit. But this is huge. I mean, that was a huge step for you and him to move out of your homes as teenagers. Huge.
Yes, and I think, speaking to the faith, all I knew in that moment was all these people are telling me I can't do something. I was a little stubborn, but also there was an aspect of ignorance is bliss. I didn't know, but all I knew was, and the faith came in. When I look back on it now, I definitely see God's hand in it all. And I know that by doing the right thing, it allowed me to be prosperous in the future. And the Lord was never going to let me fail in that moment. And he didn't. And I wasn't really sure how we were going to do it, but we did, and I graduated with a 6-month-old baby on my hip. It definitely killed the college dreams. But you figure out a way. And I didn't really know what I was doing in that moment, neither did he. But when you're told, oh, you can't do it, oh, you're not worthy, oh, you're not going to make anything of yourself because you don't have that college degree, honey, that's fuel. That is motivation. And we did, we spent, we ended up running a successful company. We built our first house when I was 19 years old. And we had, I will say that for the next 18 years, we had 2 more children, but when the 18-year marriage failed was when I lived solely on faith. That moment right there, when I lost everything all over again. And now I am a single mama and I was originally licensed from real estate from 2006, but there was a moment in time when we had a recession. Nobody was doing real estate full time. And, I was mama, like my priority was mama. I had 3 little bitty babies. And so I left that marriage with nothing. I walked away from it all. A place to my own with no job, and 3 kids to try and figure out how to support. Now, you talk about living on a prayer and getting close to the Lord. That'll do it for you. And man, I had my confidence level was this big at that moment in my life, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. But there was one thing that I knew, and it was that I had a calling, and that I still wasn't going to prove those people wrong that told me I couldn't do it. And there was no way I was going to let my kids see me fail. It didn't matter that I didn't have a college degree. It didn't matter that I was mentally and emotionally challenged. It didn't matter that I had to start my career all over again. None of it mattered. But I can tell you, I saw the Lord more in those moments of my life when I had nothing. And it quite literally, it was a huge setback in my life, but it was the biggest set up for being greater. And if there's anything that I can say looking back at my life, is all those moments of setbacks were precisely what were the set up for what I needed to become of myself to this day.
I love it. Let me ask you a couple questions real quick.
Yeah,
So, going back to the teen mom moving out, you don't have a college degree, you're never going to make it. Um, are you getting these remarks from people who are really close to you?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Those are the
The
ones
people,
that hurt just a little bit more,
they
right?
sting a little bit. They sting a little bit more. When you have
Yep.
ones that the very ones that you need to believe in you, the very ones that have to support you, those they sting, and trying to
Yep.
overcome that. I spent a lot of years, um, trying to talk myself out of what I had been programmed to believe for
Yeah.
so
Right.
long. And eventually one day I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And of course therapy's great, right? Everybody needs a
Yeah.
therapist, and we
Right.
do. But I began to believe the word journal.
Yep.
And I believe that the Lord puts people in your life for a reason. And I had an incredible crew of folks around me that lifted me up during that moment of my life where I really needed these people.
Right.
It gives me chill bumps to look back. I'm gonna be a little bit emotional.
All good.
But looking back on it now and realizing that those moments were what formed who I was supposed to be today.
Mm.
And being able to pull myself out of that slump and knowing that I was put in the right place at the right time was made a huge impact. And slowly but surely, I think a lot of us today fight whether we've been through the things that I've been through or not, we all have a little bit of self-doubt in us every single day. We do, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're a young teenager. We're all fighting our inner demons every single day. And
Yep.
being able to pull ourselves out of that and I'm dumbfounded sometimes when I think back on it, but we all have to give ourselves a little bit of grace
Yep.
each day and say, you know what, it's okay. Because I still fall off the wagon. I still fall off the wagon to this day. We're always
Yeah.
going to have those setbacks every single day. But
Right.
give us the grace to say, you know what, it's okay. And it took me many years to learn that. And every now and then,
Yep.
something will happen and
Yeah.
I'll have that trigger and we're going to have the doom day. Oh, I lost a deal today. I'm going to go waller in my sorrows.
Yeah.
But I take a step back in that moment, give myself that grace and say, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to have a bad day, but we're not going
Right.
to have a bad life. And we're not going
Yep.
to let this interfere with our purpose.
So I want to take us all the way to where that time when your marriage ended and you really, really, really had to make a decision that you had to make this work. You know, you talked about your kids and all of that, but I want to comment on something real quick. You know, your confidence was down low. A lot of entrepreneurs have that true breakdown before they have the breakthrough. And so I personally think we have to get to a point to realize we can't do this on our own, that we do need God. That's where we put our total trust in Him. And so when I tell people my heart had to break for my eyes to be open because I would tell people I depended on God my entire life, right? That was easy to say, but guess what? I didn't know what it was like to depend on Him until I had to depend on Him. All other options were exhausted. I need you, God, and I need you in a bad way. And that's when I realize, or I think people, it starts becoming revealed to them that they do have a purpose and that it's not necessarily a destination, but it's a journey. It's a daily direction walking towards who does God want you to be?
Amen.
Why did He create you?
Right.
You don't just wake up and realize, oh, here
Right.
I am, and you know, I've arrived. So I think that's the time. What I'm hearing you say is your faith had to be put into action, and we didn't have confidence, but we have confidence in knowing who is in control, and it's not us, and that's hard. Entrepreneurs are just wired that we always want to maintain control. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. And exactly to touch on what you said there is, you know, you almost have to lose control. And that is a perfect analogy because when I look back on that moment in my life where it's easy to you almost have to fall flat on your face to be able to look up and be like, I have nowhere else to go. And I can truly look
Right.
back on that moment in my life and sometimes it blows my mind because I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I truly, nothing in that moment of my life made sense to work out. If someone on the street came to me and said, this is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna have absolutely nothing, and you're gonna have to figure out how to make it work, and you're gonna have these bills, and you're gonna have these kids, I would have been like, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that leap of faith. I'm not going to, nothing made sense. Nothing.
Right.
I had nothing. I had no one to depend on. It was me and my kids and the good
Yep.
Lord. And
I love it.
I had nothing in that moment of my life. And I have never been so grateful. And it has never been it truly was one of the greatest moments of my life because had I not had that moment where I did fall flat on my face, I would never have met God in that moment. And there
Yeah.
is something about truly surrendering all of what you think that you should be to what God's plans are. And I
Yes.
promise you 100% when you do the right thing and you're asking Him, hey, what do I do? It'll come back around. And you're going to
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
successes and the fruits of your labor and the obedience that you gave Him when you were laying there on your face in that moment. And so
Yep.
I would love to say that I have gained this confidence and the success that I have today because of something that I did or because of the degree that I went back and got. But the truth of it
Right.
is, Chad, honey, it wasn't nothing but the good Lord.
Yeah.
It
I heard
truly
somebody
was.
say I heard somebody say one time, I think it was our preacher, there's no victory without a battle.
Amen.
And if we avoid the battlefield, then we will never slay our giants in our life.
100%.
And so only when you see God's hand move like that and his work in your life are you able to look back at a situation that was just nasty and horrible and rough, and it was a mess, to be
Right.
honest with you,
A mess.
and then turn around and say, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I wouldn't be where I'm at now if I hadn't have gone through that, right?
That's it. Those biggest setbacks are the biggest setups. They truly
Yep,
are.
yep.
And I mean, you could probably say that for any entrepreneur out there. You know, the most successful people, 9 times out of 10, those people are the ones that have been in the pits and the valleys. They're the ones that
Yep.
had to learn how to pull themselves out of it, battle it through and through. We felt
Right.
that calling on our life, and we know that we're responsible for more. We're responsible for that greater. And I'll be
Yes.
dang if, I'm going to fail. I may have to
Right.
crawl, but I'm going to get back up.
Oh yeah. So this could be to anybody, entrepreneurs,
It could.
just anybody really. I've got a dear friend, Tim Story. He is a celebrity life coach out in Hollywood. His faith is so strong. I look to him a lot. He actually wrote the foreword in my book, but he said something that made so much sense. When you have a setback, you can sit in your setback,
Right.
which then, if you just sit in your setback, you will settle in your setback. And then if you stay settled, you will become cemented in your setback.
Oof.
And if you think
That's
about that
heavy.
right there, that's like generational behaviors. That's how curses, behaviors, whatever, that's how that happens. But you made a decision. It's all about decision. That's action. That's taking action.
Right.
But that ain't you. Because guess what? I get yayed up every once in a while. So now it's my time to talk. I got the microphone, right? So, Reagan, here's the deal. Your fuel came from your kids. You said that you felt appointed to always leave that legacy and show the way and go out here, and you're going to fail, but you're going to get right back up. No way are they going to see mom wallowing in the gully and whatever. You're going to get back up, because that is what people with purpose do. And that's what you did. And I got to say this, and then we're going to get back to you. I'll give you the microphone, okay? So, haha. I asked my wife this morning, I said, talk to me about Reagan. Give me, what do you think about Reagan? As we know her heart, we know she's a great, great woman, but just what do you see with her and her professional life? And I don't have it in front of me, but I remember she's confident. She's spunky. She's a wife and a mom, and she's absolutely killing it. And she's having fun doing it because you are being you. You are not faking it till you make it. You are not trying to be somebody that you're not. You are being somebody that God created you to be. And that's why you're making a big impression. And that's why I wanted you on this podcast. But you attract people, your energy. And I just see that light. And you are the kind of people that that people are drawn to, because you're being you're being your authentic self, and realizing that you're not perfect, but also realizing that, hey, you just want to be the best version of you, and that's all you can do. That's all you can control. The byproduct will all work out. So that gets us into a transition of, we talked about how you run your business, and that is quality over quantity. Now that sounds just so vanilla, but when hearing you talk about it, you don't worry about numbers. You don't worry about certain amount of transactions. It truly is developing that relationship with your clients. And the fact that you've never bought any leads, that speaks to itself right there. So tell us about that. How do you feel about that right there? The quality over quantity.
Yeah, so basically, the lessons in my life I've used to run my business. And my business plan has always been quality over quantity. Money and success are great, but I want to leave a legacy, not only with my family, but in running my business as well. And so doing the right thing has always yielded me that in return.
I think that's a wonderful way to look at your business because people in sales, listen, I've been guilty as well. We make that sale, we get paid, and we go on down the road. And while our intentions are good to maintain relationships, a lot of times we don't. It kind of we get the deal and it's done. But what I'm hearing you say is when you maintain that relationship over the even after the closing, what happens is that relationship generates more referrals. So you build raving fans, right, from the people you have relationships with. So now when somebody needs to sell property or list property or buy property, hey, you need to talk to my realtor. That's all. You need to call Reagan. I'll put y'all together. That's kind of how that works. And that's the best, way that someone in sales can operate.
Having that one-on-one relationship with somebody that they can trust in a time when they're most vulnerable in the biggest purchase of their life, when
Yep.
you are leading them down the right path and you're making them feel a certain way, because it's emotional. We talked about this in the beginning. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest purchases that you'll ever make.
Yep.
80% of that isn't just the transaction. It's not a transaction. Folks deserve to be heard. They want to feel comfortable. They want to be able to be led, and it's 80% emotion. And so you have to be, I laugh, I'm like, maybe I should have had a psychology degree. But we have to be able to lead them down that. And I owe that to my clients to be able to provide them with the utmost care. And I love that. I love being one on one involved. I've never been one to be part of a huge team. I don't hire transaction coordinators to work for me um, because I want to be involved 100% of the way. And
Right.
I've never had to worry about where that next check is coming from. Although, if you want to get close to the Lord, you just get you a commission based job because we're living on prayer. But
Yes.
I will tell you, with the right mindset and treating people the right way um, in your business, you're never going to have to worry about where is that next deal going to come from. You're going to get
Right.
there. If it's your purpose, you will get there, and it will be done the right thing. By doing the right thing to the right people, you'll obtain that success. You're going to create that legacy. And there's such a bad rap out there in the real estate world right now, just in the last couple of years, that it is almost like it's I'm determined to say, you know what, this is not how it has to be, and we're
Right.
here to represent you, and we want you to be legally protected, and we want you to know all of the information, and I'm here for you. And when you can be that backbone for people 100% all day long, I would choose quality over quantity any day. I don't want a transaction, and my clients don't deserve that. So that is essentially what makes me successful in my business.
Yes, and that you are. So let me have fun a little bit now. So from that confidence, from you knowing the value that you bring in your business to your clients and truly, truly putting them first, I always say, look, you're at A and somebody's trying to get to B, right? And so you just want to be there to guide them to what they really, 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 really want. But you have to listen to understand and not listen to respond. So when you get dialed in on what your prospect is really looking for, then you can truly help them get what they want. So, with that being said, you're confident in that. I love your videos. My wife loves your videos. You have so much fun doing those videos. So let me ask you, is that easy for you to do? Is that I know it's once you probably when you get started it's fun and all that, but is it easy to put yourself out there, you know, on a consistent basis?
Yeah. So that was tough. That was something that I had to overcome. I think that I've created this like mental checklist in my mind where, okay, you've accomplished that. Okay, you've accomplished that. And in order to get here, this is the next step that you need to take. And I pressured myself to be different. And
Yeah.
the real estate industry made it really hard where, you had to stand out. If you want to do it, you stand out.
That's right.
Go big or go home, right?
Right.
And I
Yep.
wanted to I always had a creative. I love anything creative. That must go back to my performing arts days.
Yes.
Um, I love anything creative and I love being different and I want to stand out. And so being able to create a story behind all my clients' homes, oh my gosh, I loved that. I loved
Yeah.
it. But the challenge was that I had to figure out how to get over being vulnerable in front of a camera, in front
Right.
of a cameraman. Um,
Yeah.
the bloopers. I agonized. This is real TV. Like, I'll be honest with you, I agonized, and most people do. You see the videos out there of these people, and you're like, oh my gosh, they look so great. It wasn't. It's not like that. There's lots of
Right.
bloopers. We took 25 takes. I mean, look, we do it here.
Yeah.
It's not a slam dunk. It was easy. I had to hype myself up every day before these videos come
Right.
in and scrutinize over them. And my poor photographer, like, shout out to my videographer and the crews, because I will send those videos back 25 times getting them to change stuff. So
Oh
it's a
yeah.
battle. Um, and I think the reward, though, is so much greater after you can accomplish getting over those fears of
Yeah.
making a mistake or not getting it perfect. Because the reality is the outside people don't see that. It's a lie you're
Right.
telling yourself.
Yep.
If you can do whatever it is that you think that you're going to do, you have to
That's right.
focus and say that you're going to do it. Now, that doesn't say, I should say, that doesn't go to say you shouldn't prepare for it.
Right.
The miracles happen, right? But the Lord still expects you to do the work, right? Take the
100%.
steps to get there. Take the steps to get there.
Yeah.
So I prepare, write a script, have a plan, have
Right.
a plan. But you know what? People call me for those videos to list their homes today. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love doing them. I can't wait until I can get a new house with some sort of character that I can create a whole story behind, because I love it. And
Because that's your passion.
it
You're
is it.
taking you're taking some of your gifts, right? And
Yeah, yeah. What
you're
use what?
intermingling it into your occupation.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's a a good life lesson, is take the difficulties that you've been given and take the things that you're good at in your life that you have been blessed with and use it to your advantage. You've been
That's
put
right.
in a specific role for a reason, and you're going to have things that make you great, and you're going to have things that um, give you troubles. But intertwining those two to give that legacy, to be everything that you're supposed to be, you will be successful when you learn how to intermingle those two things.
Yeah. So I think, I've got another friend, Derek Green. he talks about the sauce of life. So all the good, bad, ugly, great things, people, all of that, that creates your particular sauce. So if you're just straight up vinegar, that's good for one thing. Alcohol, rubbing alcohol, is good for, it has its purpose, all of these things. But if you put a bunch of ingredients together, it has a purpose. So you had your little jar, right? And people were putting labels on that jar, but you disregarded that because what was happening was y- your sauce, all of these experiences, and now you take that sauce and you share it to the world. And I have to believe that you have the mentality of you're willing to help anybody, but you're not for everybody. That's another Derek Green saying. And some will, some won't. So what? So just show up and let's do our thing. I mean, I want to go see a house just to meet you, even if I wasn't in the market for one because of your social media. It's just fun. It's good, and it's like, hey, that's a cool girl right there.
Thanks,
So
Chad.
anyway,
It's
so
true.
let me ask you a question as we start wrapping up. Um, Thank you for being on here. Really, I
Thanks
think
for
we've had a
having
really,
me.
really good time.
I checked off another goal on my mental list.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, it's super good. And so, if you had to share to the listeners on this podcast one thing that they could take away from you, or you could offer the world advice, inspiration, whatever you want, what would that be? What would you want to say to the world right now?
To the world, that is a loaded question, especially for a sales agent, because I can't just choose one thing.
Right. Well, we can make
I
one thing and then A, B, and C under it. You know what I mean? To get our point
man,
across.
ABC.
Yeah.
I think that use your limitations to your advantage and have faith that you can do it. And just because you have gone through a rough point in your life does not mean that you cannot be great because of it. If I, who was statistically not supposed to succeed, I have so many statistics against me, um, that I mean, truly, I don't even want to think about. But if I can do it, you can do it. Um,
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing is believing in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, get somebody who does. Find someone who believes in you, who can lead you, who can encourage you. Find someone somewhere, be a part of a group, reach out, don't do it alone, and slowly but surely take one step, put one step in front of the other is the biggest goal. Don't stop. Don't stop doing anything, even if it's a small step, even if you're crawling, keep moving forward. Get
I love it.
yourself support, get yourself the encouragement, because truly the biggest setbacks are usually the greatest stories. They truly are. And I'm here to tell you that you can be great. Anybody can be great. Anybody can be able to obtain wealth. It's a mindset. It's just a mindset.
That's right. Well, Reagan, you are great, and
Thanks,
I
Chad.
appreciate you. I
Likewise.
appreciate, everything that you said, your story. Uh, what they say? We tend to put just numbers on people, but every number has a name, every name has a story, and every story matters. And I love your story, and I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that we're friends, and
Yes.
I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you
So
for having
if
me,
you need a
Chad.
realtor out there, anybody need a realtor, I know one. So Reagan, thanks again for being on. I
Thank you,
appreciate it. God
Chad.
bless you
You as
and
well.
your family. And until next time, take care and God bless you.
Thanks.